So now that we've got a pretty good definition of active reconnaissance, let's talk about some of the tools and methods associated with that step in the methodology. Some examples that we have listed out here are banner grabbing. And banner simply defines information given out by a system or service that can be useful in fingerprinting that particular system or service. An example of this would be telnetting into various routers and switches. So if you're at the outside of a company's network, you figured out where their web servers are located, chances are in front of those web servers are going to be high availability systems, possibly relatively fast switches, in some case firewalls, and chances are in addition to that they're managed through SSH. A lot of the routers and firewalls that are built have that capability. So you could theoretically connect into that system and read the banner, find out. A lot of times it'll actually tell you operating system information such as Cisco iOS version X and various associations with that. You can also get this type of information from mail servers, DNS servers, web servers. Almost anything that listens on a port can be fingerprinted through banner grabbing. Mail bouncing is another very interesting technique used to gather information about email servers, DNS resolution, and various things as well. We're going to take a look at email bouncing in just a few minutes. DNS zone transfers can also be an excellent source of information, especially when DNS servers for public and private domains are not separated properly. So a great example of this would be, I want to find out what all records that are contained within the Internet DNS associated with this particular company name or website, extension, whatever the case may be. So you go out, you bring up a DNS server, you initiate a transfer, you pull it down, and you parse that data for the records you're looking for. You can discover quite a bit of information. We can also actually go through public website source code and the directory structure associated with that. That can tell us additional information about how that's going to be structured. A lot of websites out there will actually go out and have a files directory, a website directory, they'll have an FTP directory. In addition, they may have directories such as modules, extensions. With names like that, it definitely leads you to believe that there might be additional modules such as administrator or hidden modules available to be found. So that can actually kind of lead you in the right direction as far as finding additional information about that company's infrastructure. Another, probably one of the best tools associated with active reconnaissance is social engineering, which is something I kind of touched on with the example of walking into the building and requesting a pass to see the CEO, but that actually goes quite a step further. Social engineering can involve finding out where the IT administrator goes after business hours. Maybe there's a particular bar or restaurant that this person goes to, strike up a conversation with them, happen to meet them there a few times in a row, and within a few weeks this person will probably open up and start talking about work problems they're having and this system crashing, especially if you're a fellow IT person and can relate with them. So there are definitely a lot of options available with social engineering, and the new innovative techniques of social engineering is where we want to be. We want to find those holes in policies and trust in human relationships that haven't been discovered. Shoulder surfing is a very common technique as well, where you stand over someone's shoulder and watch what they're doing. Watch them type their password in. Watch what websites they go to. Dumpster diving is another thing that's been really common over the last 10 and 15 years for retrieving information about companies and users. Right now, it's probably one of the more common techniques for local people to steal identities and steal confidential information right behind adware and spyware. Piggybacking or following up on site visits is also another common method, which kind of leads into social engineering, almost an alternate avenue for that, where we're going to follow people in, visit the sites, find out what it takes to accomplish certain goals at that physical location. One often overlooked component of hacking is physical security, being able to access that system console by walking in the building and going and sitting down at the server. So keep all of these things in mind when considering active reconnaissance as part of your methodology for penetration testing and ethical hacking.